My mother ridiculed me on my birthday in the family group chat. No one is going to your ridiculous party. Grow up already. I got the message. I canceled the $40,000 rent, took back the car, and canceled all their cards. That day, the abuse ended. My name is Andres, and the day of my 29th birthday was when everything changed. It wasn't a big celebration or a happy moment, but the day I got fed up with being my family's ATM. For years, I was their financial support, paying their bills, debts, and emergencies. But a humiliating message in the family WhatsApp group opened my eyes and led me to cut off their abuse once and for all. This is my story. It all started with a message I sent to the family group, which was supposed to keep us connected, but really just serve as a place for my mother, my sisters Sarah and Sophia, and my younger brother Matthias to ask me for money or favors. I paid the rent for the apartment where my mother and Matthias lived, Sarah's car insurance, Sophia's medical bills. There was always a new loan they never paid back. I did it because I thought it was my duty as a son and brother, but I was exhausted. That year, I wanted to do something different. I'd spent my last few birthdays working late as a project manager at a tech company. The job paid well, but left me no time for myself. So I decided to celebrate my birthday, something I hadn't done in who knows how long. I booked a nice restaurant with live music and good food. I spent $20,000 on the venue, food, drinks, and a classic rock band. I was excited, imagining a night with my family, laughter, and toasts. I sent a message to the group. Hi, this year I want to celebrate my birthday. I booked a restaurant for Saturday at 7 p.m. Hope you can come. The response came fast and hit like a punch. My mother wrote, Andres, what nonsense, a party? You're almost 30, grow up. Nobody's going to that. Better use that money for something useful like Sarah's insurance. I stared at my phone, a knot in my stomach. Then Sarah added, Yeah, Andres, don't act important. I have things to do with the kids. I'm not wasting my time. Sophia topped it off with a laughing sticker and a message. Ha, ridiculous move. Just give me the money for college. Matthias, as always, said nothing. He never did, but he was always there, taking the money I sent. I felt empty, furious, but above all, exhausted. Years of giving everything, paying their bills, sacrificing myself, and this was what I got. I remembered all the times my mother said they wouldn't survive without me, the loans that never came back, the bills I paid without question. Then a memory hit me, the life insurance policy. A year earlier, my mother convinced me to get one, saying it was for security. I signed without checking, trusting her. But later, I found out she and my sisters were the beneficiaries. If I died, they'd get $1 million. $1 million. I realized I was worth more dead than alive to them. I looked at my mother's message again. Nobody's going to your ridiculous party. Grow up. Something broke. I wasn't going to be their ATM anymore. That day, the abuse ended. I canceled a restaurant reservation, losing part of the deposit, but I didn't care. I went to the bank and stopped all automatic transfers. Rent, Sarah's insurance, Sophia's bills, everything. I also went to the dealership, took back Sarah's car, which was in my name, and sold it. That week, I canceled the credit cards I'd given them for emergencies. I didn't warn them. I just did it. That night, with a beer in hand, I felt relief but also fear. I knew my family wouldn't stay quiet, and I wasn't wrong. The next day, the family group exploded. My mother sent furious messages saying, How dare you leave us stranded? Sarah called, yelling that I was selfish, that her kids had no way to get around. Sophia sent a crying voice message, saying I'd left her without money for college. Matt Pertinicia's, as always, silence. They tried everything, yelling, tears, guilt-tripping, but I didn't give in. That week, I talked to Antonella, my best friend from college. She'd always suspected my family was using me, but I never listened. I told her everything, the message, the policy, my decision. She hugged me and said, Andres, it's about time. Antonella introduced me to Julian, a lawyer friend. Julian said we needed proof to protect me. Your family will try to make you the bad guy. We need to show the abuse. We gathered everything, bank statements, messages where they asked for money, bill receipts. I found emails from my mother about the policy, saying it was for everyone's good. Julian said it was financial abuse and the policy could be fraud. Meanwhile, my family didn't stop. My mother called daily, switching from anger to tears. Andres, we're your family. How can you do this? Sarah showed up at my work, making a scene at reception, calling me a horrible brother. That was too much. My boss, already looking to cut staff, fired me, saying they couldn't have personal drama at the company. Losing my job hurt, but also freed me. I didn't have to support anyone but myself anymore. Antonella let me stay at her place while I looked for something new. Julian helped me draft a formal letter to my family, saying I'd give no more money, and if they tried to manipulate me, we'd go legal. My family didn't give up. Sophia started posting on social media that I'd abandoned them, that I was selfish. My mother organized a family intervention at her house. I went against Julian's advice because I wanted to believe they could change. But it was a trap. They yelled, blamed me, called me a failure. My mother cut deep. You've always been selfish, Andres. Everything we did was for your good. I left with clarity I'd never had. I wasn't going back. With Antonella and Julian, I started rebuilding my life. I found a new job, not as good as the last, but enough. I started saving, planning. For the first time, I felt my life was mine. But my family wouldn't let me go so easily. What I didn't know was that their next moves would be even worse, and I'd be ready to face them. The days after the intervention were chaos. My mother, Sarah, Sophia, and Matthias didn't give up. At first, they kept up the same tactics. Endless messages, calls at all hours, voice notes full of tears and guilt. But when they saw I wouldn't budge, they switched from emotional blackmail to something dirtier. They wanted control back, no matter how. A week after losing my job, I was at Antonella's, job hunting online, when I got a bank alert. Someone tried to access my account. They failed because I'd changed all my passwords after cutting them off, but the attempt rattled me. I called Julian immediately. Andres, this is typical, he said. When you cut off the money, they get desperate. Brace yourself. This will escalate. He was right. 2 days later, Sarah showed up at my new job, a small company where I'd been hired as a consultant. It wasn't as prestigious as my old job, but I liked the calm, until Sarah stormed in, yelling at reception that I was an ungrateful brother who left her kids on the street. She said I'd stolen her car, the one in my name, and couldn't take her kids to school. The receptionist tried to calm her, but she made a scene. My boss, a calm but firm guy, called me in after. Andres, I don't want problems here. Fix this or I can't keep you. They didn't fire me, but the warning was clear. My family wouldn't stop. I texted Sarah, asking what she was after. She denied everything, saying she just wanted to talk and I was overreacting. But it wasn't a casual visit. It was a sabotage. Antonella, fed up, told me to put up security cameras at my place and change the locks. Don't trust them, Andres. If they've come to your work, who knows what else they'll do? Julian kept gathering evidence. We found messages and emails where my family begged for money. But what shocked me most was a chat Sophia saved to a cloud I still had access to. In it, my mother and Sarah talked about controlling me. Sarah wrote, "If he gets tough, we always have the policy." That message chilled my blood. It wasn't proof of a concrete plan, but it was enough for Julian to say, "This is serious, Andres. It's not just financial abuse. It could be more." I took drastic steps. With Julian, I filed a restraining order against Sarah to keep her away from my work and home. We also hired a private investigator, a friend of Julian's, to watch my family. I didn't want to go that far, but they left me no choice. The investigator found Sophia was using the money I gave her for college on parties and trips. Photos of her in fancy bars and luxury hotels, all paid with my money. Matthias, who seemed harmless, was reselling electronics I bought him, profiting while asking for more help. The lowest blow came from my mother. One morning, I got a letter from an unknown lawyer. It was a lawsuit. My mother and Sarah were suing me for family abandonment, demanding $500,000 of the emotional support they'd supposedly given me. It was absurd, a pressure tactic. Julian laughed. This has no legal basis, Andres. It's pure theater, but we'll counter it with everything. We built a solid defense. Julian submitted proof of the $200,000 plus I'd given in rent, cars, bills, and loans, the messages where they mocked me, emails about the policy. The investigator added photos of Sophia and Matthias's spending. The lawsuit fell apart, but it was exhausting. Every day brought a new threat. My mother even called Antonella, trying to convince her to make me reconsider. Antonella shut her down and told me, "Your mother's a master manipulator, Andres. Don't let her break you." Despite it all, I felt progress. My new job was going well, though it paid less. Antonella and I started planning a tech consulting business for small companies. A small dream, but it excited me. I was investing in myself, not them. I made friends at work. 2. Marcos, a co-worker, invited me to play soccer on weekends, something I hadn't done since college. My life was starting to feel mine, but my family wouldn't give up. Sophia posted a video online, crying, saying I'd left her with nothing and she'd end up on the street. It went viral in our city. I got messages from acquaintances. Some defended me, others judged me. It was humiliating, but it gave me strength. If Sophia wanted to play dirty, I had proof to expose her. Julian told me not to respond yet. Let them wear themselves out. The truth always comes out. And it did. One night, reviewing documents for Julian, I found an old message from Sophia to a friend admitting she made up emergencies to get money from me, laughing that I was easy to manipulate because I wanted to look good. It hurt, but it was a win. We saved it with the other evidence. A month later, my mother tried one last move. She invited me to a family meeting at a restaurant to fix things. I didn't go alone. I took Julian and Antonella as witnesses. My mother, Sarah, Sophia, and Matthias were there playing victims. My mother started her speech. I was her son. Everything they did was for my good. I should support the family. Sarah said her kids suffered because of my selfishness. Sophia cried, saying she couldn't pay for college. Matthias, as always, stayed quiet. This time I didn't. I pulled out a folder with the evidence, bank statements, messages, investigator photos. I told them I knew everything. Sophia's spending, Sarah's lies, the policy that made me worth more dead. I said their lawsuit wouldn't work, and if they kept going, I'd go to the police with the policy. My mother paled. Sarah yelled, but Julian cut her off, saying any threats would be used against them. We left with a sense of triumph, but also sadness. I wanted my family to change, to admit their wrongs, but that meeting showed they wouldn't, not yet. The next months were relief and tension. The lawsuit was dismissed, and Sarah stopped showing up at my work due to restraining order. Sophia kept posting online, but her stories lost traction. Matthias sent an apology text. I didn't reply. I wasn't ready. My life moved forward. The business with Antonella took shape. We got a client, a small company needing billing help. Marcos and work friends became key support. I felt valued for who I was, not my money, but I knew my family wasn't done. I heard rumors they were planning something to regain control. I didn't know what, but with Julian and Antonella, I was ready. My 30th birthday approached, and this time, I'd celebrate with people who truly cared. What I didn't expect was my family's final card up their sleeve. The months before were progress and nerves. The business with Antonella grew. We had 3 clients, small companies trusting our tech consulting. It wasn't much money, but working on something mine filled me with pride. Marcos and my work friends became my support network. Weekend soccer games were my escape, a reminder life could be light. But rumors about my family kept me on guard. A distant cousin warned me my mother and Sarah were plotting to make me come back. No details, but Julian told me to stay alert. Andres, they've tried to sabotage and sue you. What's next will be lower, he said. Antonella urged me to focus on my future, but I couldn't ignore the unease. One morning, a week before my birthday, I got an email from an unknown lawyer. Not a lawsuit, but an invitation to a family mediation. It said my mother wanted to resolve things in good faith with a mediator, and Sarah, Sophia, and Matthias would be there. I showed Julian, who frowned. It's another trap, Andres, but if you go, we go prepared. I decided to go, not out of hope, but to close the chapter. I brought Julian, Antonella, and all our evidence. Bank statements, messages, investigator photos. Sophia's message admitting she faked emergencies. The meeting was in a cold mediation office with a long table. My family was there, my mother with her victim face, Sarah arms crossed, Sophia on her phone, Matthias eyes down. The mediator, a nervous man in a suit, said the goal was to rebuild trust. But when my mother spoke, I knew nothing could be saved. Andres, you're our son, she said with fake tears. We did everything for love, but you abandoned us. Sarah said her kids suffered from my selfishness. Sophia claimed she dropped out of college because of me. Matthias didn't speak, but looked at me, maybe regret in his eyes. I didn't fall for it. I put the evidence folder on the table. If you want trust, let's talk about this, I said firmly. I showed the $200,000 I gave in rent, bills, and loans, the messages mocking me, photos of Sophia spending my money on parties, the policy email that made me worth more dead. The mediator reviewed the documents, uncomfortable. My mother tried to say it was a misunderstanding, but Julian cut her off. This is documented financial abuse. If you continue, we'll go to the police. Sarah yelled I was lying. Sophia cried but said nothing coherent. Then Matthias spoke, almost whispering. Mom! Stop. Andres is right. We asked too much. My mother glared at him, furious, but didn't respond. The mediator ended the meeting, saying there was no basis to continue. We left with a bittersweet victory. I'd faced my family, but their betrayal still hurt. Days later, Sarah tried one last blow. She posted an open letter online, saying I'd abandoned and destroyed the family, with old Christmas photos, when I paid for everything, to play the victim. It got some attention, but with Julian's permission, I responded. I posted my truth, a summary of the years I supported them, the humiliating messages, proof of their abuse. I avoided the policy, but shared Sophia's messages and bank statements. The response was huge. Friends, acquaintances, and strangers supported me. Sarah's post fizzled, and she deleted it the next day. Sophia sent a crying voice note, saying she was sorry, but her tears didn't move me. I replied, no more lies, I want no contact, and blocked her. My mother stopped calling, but my cousin said she was furious, claiming I'd humiliated her. Matthias didn't write again, though his apology at the mediation lingered. It was the only sign anyone in my family saw the harm, but I wasn't ready to forgive. The days before my birthday were intense. I knew my family had lost, but their pride wouldn't let them quit easily. Julian suggested changing my number and cutting all contact. Don't give them room to manipulate, he said. Antonella urged me to make my birthday a new start. This is your moment, Andres, she said. Her words gave me strength. I decided my 30th birthday would mark the start of my new life without them. The day arrived. It was everything the last one wasn't. Antonella hosted a gathering at her place with Marcos, work friends, and a client who become close. No luxuries, just pizza, beers, and genuine laughter. Marcos gave me a soccer ball signed by the team, a nod to our games. Antonella gave me a notebook with a note. For your dreams, not theirs. The most special gift came from our client, an older man, who gave me a wooden train like the ones I collected as a kid. You told me you liked them, he said. I thought it'd bring happy memories. That touched my soul. I felt seen as a person, not a wallet. That night, as we toasted, I got a message from my mother. Happy birthday, Andres. I hope one day you understand I did everything for love. No apology, just excuses. I replied, thanks, but I want no contact. I hope you find peace, and blocked her, Sarah, and Sophia. I felt no anger, just immense relief. I closed the door that drained me for years. In the weeks after, my new life took shape. The business with Antonella grew. We got a fourth client and planned to expand. I moved to a small apartment, mine, with a window letting in light each morning. I kept playing soccer with Marcos and started dating Laura, a work colleague who made me laugh. My family didn't contact me. My cousin said Sarah was dealing with debts. Sophia dropped out of college for not taking it seriously. And Matthias worked at a store trying to get by. My mother paid her rent alone. I felt no satisfaction, just calm. Their problems weren't mine anymore. Looking back, I saw how much I'd changed. I went from carrying everyone to building a life that made me happy. It wasn't easy, nights of guilt, days of doubt, but with Annanella, Julie, and my friends, I found strength. My 30th birthday wasn't just a party. It was a declaration of freedom. My family tried everything, guilt, lawsuits, social media, mediations, but they didn't win. I did, not by destroying them, but by freeing myself. As I toasted with my friends, I knew this new life, built from scratch, was mine and I was at peace.